Hey folks, welcome back to another Ride 5 livery build. Today we are working with the PBM Racing Ducati of Glenn Irwin, and I'm going to start things a little bit differently than usual. So today I'm going to create the sticker. I haven't filmed creating a sticker before. I thought maybe something that you might be interested in seeing. So to begin every number sticker, I always create this kind of box shape using the red stripes. The box shape is really helpful for me to define the height, to define the width, and also to add any slant. Now previously, before I used to do it in this method, I would have it in my head, I'd be looking at the picture and I'd be like, okay, it kind of slants like this, and I thought it started off very, very well. But then when I put it on the bike, I find that the kind of slant or the height, things started to get a little bit off. And I needed something to hold me accountable and to keep me following that same slant, same height, same width, just to ensure that it's a consistent look. And I started using this method. And we'll use it for this particular number 2. This is a very interesting number 2 because typically when I create numbers, I will create the actual like the white of the number, the top of the number I would create first. I wouldn't create the outlines or any background. When I'm happy with the front of the number, I then copy the layers and then I'll stick those layers on the most lower down level and then expand them to create an outline. It's very easy, it's very quick, and it works pretty well. However, this has a very, very interesting silhouette and the outline doesn't really follow perfectly, as you can see on screen forming now. So what I decided to do was try and create the silhouette first, as it would be the main number, and then build kind of from the layers down rather than from the layers, starting from the layer at the top. So it's slightly different, but this method plus using these kind of red guidelines, which I use a lot of the time. I use it for fonts as well. I'd create a big letter here. If I'm using maybe double digit numbers or even triple, I would use one digit and then basically group that entire digit together when I'm happy with it. And then I'd put that in the corner somewhere, and then keeping this same kind of guidelines, I then create the second digit, and when I put them together, they align perfectly. So it's worked for me quite well as this method, and I hope that it works well with this one. But another difficulty with this is the detail that lies within. I think we've got the number 2 pretty easy. I mean, I would say most people could probably grab the number 2 design quite simply on this one. However, the difficulty comes with trying to add this this clover design. You'll see as I try to draw it within. I don't want it to go like outside of the lines of the black, because then I'm going to have to patch it up with a bit of colour. It makes the number not shareable. It's a bit annoying. I do want to try and keep it as clean as possible, and that might cost me a few more layers, but if it's something that I can share and it's something that I could put anywhere on the bike without having to change the background colour, that would be great. See that I am trying to... I've planted the clover right over the top, and then once I'm happy with it, that it's in the right place and it's the right dimensions, then begin to cut basically where the black was before it. So I don't usually do number stickers and record it. It's just something I do in my preparation for a video. So I'm not sure if this is interesting to you. If it is and you'd like to see other stickers created, then I can certainly do that. But I figured with this this particular Ducati, let's be honest, not the most wildest difficult design to do. It's probably one you could even as a beginner be able to do quite well at. The difficulty comes from this quite elaborate number 2 and the dimensions and the design at the front of the Ducati, especially when you're trying to translate that onto the Ride 5 Ducati, where you have very little room to work with, but we'll get to that later. Okay, pretty happy with that. Just want to patch up a little bit on that left side, and then we're good to go. And we can dive into this Glenn Irwin Ducati. 71 layers. I'll take it, not bad. Alright, let's dive in. So, I'll tell you a little bit about Glenn Irwin throughout this video, but this is the PBM Racing Ducati. 2025 version, I've done the 2023, I've done the 2024. They have changed marginally. The difference between 2024 and 2025 is so minimal. So minimal, in fact, that I wasn't even sure if I was going to do this livery or not, but I will. It's a nice, easy one. It's something I can talk about with the number as well, so I'll create it. This is what you're seeing now is probably the most significant design change. So last year he had a lot of sponsors that appeared on the bottom of that Ducati, whereas now it is just the Monster logo, and then there is a list or a row of sponsors that appear above it. But we'll get to that. I'm not worried about the layers on this one. I don't think we're going to come close to hitting the layers. If anything, we'll have hundreds of layers left and still manage to put every single sponsor that we can on this. So Glenn Irwin, born March 21st, 1990 in Northern Ireland, his hometown of Carrickfergus. Best known for his British Superbike career, a very, very illustrious and a very, very successful BSB career. 27 race wins, 62 podiums and counting. He's always been there or thereabouts. However, never quite the BSB champion. Could he be this year? He's got some stiff competition this year, but runner-up in 2022, runner-up in 2023 as well, and always up there really in the top 3, and is always in with a shout. So I expect things to be no different this year. The best British Superbike season, in my opinion, was 2023. The rivalry between Tommy Bridewell and Glenn Irwin was just incredible. Like, it just boiled up and up and up. And yes, we talk about Tommy Hill and we talk about John Hopkins, that finale. We even talk about last year's finale, like that was, the best thing ever. And, it was huge. It was a significant moment for the reputation of British Superbikes. It was a really, really significant moment. However, for me personally, the 2023 season and the rivalry and just the bitchiness and the fight in between them was just insane. Was one of the most emotional journeys for a season, and I was on Team Glenn, but I can see both sides. They were at each other, right, all the way through, trying to score points on one of each other, adding little jibs here in every interview. Widely entertaining for a spectator. So what we're looking at now on screen is the next significant challenge that you'll come across when you're working with the Ducati. It's the front of the PBM Ducati. You've got the Bennett's British Superbike logo at the top. You've then got a black stripe underneath it with the PBM logo, and then you've got the nice, decent sized number 2. You're not going to put this on this Ducati. You're just not. If you try to, and you try to bring that, it's like a triangular design. If you try and bring that triangular design exactly like it is on a bike, the number 2 is just going to be too small. It just won't have the same impact. It will look slightly off. It will look squished. And I know that because it did in 2023 when I made the livery then. So what we're trying to do is pull the design down a little bit whilst not taking away from the size of the number. We're going to sacrifice the Bennett's logo. It's just not going to fit. We might get the PBM logo in, I'm not sure, but I'm bringing that design and zooming in slightly so that the number 2 looks right, because that's the main thing at the front, right? If all else, I want that number to look perfect. That's what makes a great replica. People are going to download it when they see the number and they'll be like, that's Glenn Irwin. So I'm building around that. And you'll see that I've done this in the past. If you go to my very first video with Rory Skinner, you'll see that number 11 was put right in the middle, and then I wanted as much of the design to fit around that number. This is no different. But you do need to be a little bit creative to try and work out how that particular design is going to fit, because in this instance, it needs to be a bit wider and it needs to be a bit lower down. So, More on Glenn Irwin, shall we? Didn't know you were so hungry for it. So the Northwest 200 is probably his most famous, and then outside of the BSP, probably best known for his Northwest 200. He's won, I think, 11 or more Superbike wins, including doubles as well, where he's won both Superbike races. 2018, did that in 2022 as well. Arguably the greatest Northwest 200 rider ever. Alistair Seeley's up there. Seeley is up there, but he is incredibly fast around that circuit. to the point where this year, when he didn't turn up and race, the rest of the competitors were like, "Well, we've got a chance now at least." And Isle of Man TT as well. He's been there. He went there in 2022, and I think you can call me out if I'm wrong here. You can call me out. I think he is still the fastest newcomer ever at the Isle of Man TT. I think his very first year he did 129.85 miles per hour lap. But what I really like about Glenn is he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a very emotional rider. You can see that in 2023 season. You can see that when he's talking about the way he mentally prepares himself for seasons and races, and I can relate to that. I think he's very relatable. I think you can see that he gives it his all every race. Actually, I have got a bit of time to share this. Donington Park, I think both Glenn Irwin and Kyle Ryde donated all money made in that weekend to the families of Owen Jenner and Shane Richardson, who tragically lost their lives quite recently, and it was a really nice and moving act for them to do. So props to both Kyle Ryde and Glenn Irwin. So I did say I would be doing the Master Mac Honda. I have done the Master Mac Honda. I need to do some more editing, and I'm in the process of moving house this week, so I just haven't had the time. But this video was pretty much prepped and ready to go, and it'll tide you over until the Master Mac 1 of Charlie Nesbitt, which will be coming up next. Put a little bit of tank grip. It's always a sign that we're almost done. Add the KS Advisory sticker, which I had totally forgot to add. But yeah, everything is present. We can even put the PBM logo there as well. There you are, 2025 PBM Ducati, slightly upgraded version from the previous year, but every single sticker fits. In fact, and more some. I even put my own R5L Ride Liveries logo sticker on there as well. It is, love it or hate it, it's definitely Ducati. It screams Ducati. I did like the Beer Monster one, I will be honest. I thought that was quite a nice one. So let's take this one out for a ride. Oh, you know where we are. To the surprise of nobody, we're at the Northwest 200. So the leather design is identical to his leather design from last year. There is very, very small changes, so we're going with that. So we have got a Glenn Irwin suit available. And this is another rider ticked off on our road to creating British Superbikes. In the meantime, we have shared the Tommy Bridewell Honda CBR that is available. We've got Andy Irwin's CBR coming up shortly as well. On these videos, stick around for the highly anticipated Storm Stacey video. Yes, I will be having a go at that Storm Stacey BMW. And we may even stick in the AGN Steel Stocks Kawasaki as well. There is a fantastic one done by Adam BGP, as there is with the Storm Stacey replica. But if anything, that just gets me excited to have a go at myself. When somebody else has had a go at livery, I'm like, and I wonder how many layers they did that in. Oh, I wonder if I could do it in less, and I wonder if I could add this and so on. I'm such a nerd. But thank you for watching this Glenn Irwin Ducati livery build. It's been an honour and a pleasure. Please drop a like if you liked it. Please subscribe. Please drop a comment. All engagement is fantastic for growing this small channel. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Livery. Crixus out.